Hello my dear students, in this video I am going to discuss about Neet syllabus for exam 2022 for biology subject. So let's start. From 11th standard, Unit 1, Diversity in Living World. It includes what is living, biodiversity, need for classification, then three domain of life, taxonomy and systematics, concept of species and taxonomical hierarchy. Binomial nomenclature, tools for study of taxonomy like museum, zoo, herbaria, botanical garden. Then five kingdom classification, salient features and classification of Monera, Protista and fungi into major groups lichen, virus and viroid. Then salient features and classification of plants into major groups like algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Then angiosperm classification up to class, then characteristics, features and example of plant. This same unit include salient features and classification of animals, non-chordate up to phyla level and chordate up to classes level. Unit 2 is structural organization in animals and plants like morphology and modification, tissue, anatomy and functions of different parts of flowering plant like root, stem, leaf, inflorescence like cymos and racemose, flower, fruit and seed. Animal tissue, its morphology, anatomy, and functions of different systems like digestive, circulatory system, respiratory system, nervous system, and reproductive system of an insect of cockroach. Unit 3 include cell structure and function like cell theory and cell as the basic unit of life, structure of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, plant cell and animal cell, cell envelope, cell membrane, cell wall, cell organelles, structure and function, endomembrane system, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, lysosome, vacuoles, mitochondria, ribosome, plastids, microbodies, cytoskeleton, cilia, flagella, centrioles, nuclear membrane, chromatin, and nucleolus. Chemical constitution of living cells, biomolecules, structure and functions of proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acid, enzymes and its types, properties of enzyme action, cell division, cell cycle, mitosis, meiosis and their significance. Unit 4 include plant physiology. It includes transport in plants, movement of water, gases and nutrients, cell to cell transport, diffusion, facilitated diffusion, active transport, plant water relations, imbibition, water potential, osmosis, plasmolysis, long distance transport of water absorption, apoplast and symplast pathway, transpiration pool theory, root pressure theory, guttation, transpiration, opening and closing of stomata, uptake and translocation of mineral nutrients, transport of food, phloem transport, mass flow hypothesis, diffusion of gases, then mineral nutrition like essential minerals, macro and micronutrients and their role, deficiency symptoms, mineral toxicity, elementary idea of hydroponic as a method to study mineral nutrition, nitrogen metabolism, nitrogen cycle, biological nitrogen fixation. Plant physiology also include other topics like photosynthesis as a mean of autotrophic nutrition. Site of photosynthesis take place. Pigments involved in photosynthesis. Photochemical and biosynthetic phase of photosynthesis. Cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Chemiosmotic hypothesis. Photorespiration. C3 and C4 pathway. Factors affecting on photosynthesis. Next is respiration. It includes exchange of gases, cellular respiration, glycolysis, fermentation, TCA cycle, and electron transport system. Energy relation, number of ATP molecules generated, amphipolic pathway, and respiratory content. Next, plant growth and development. It includes seed germination, phases of plant growth and plant growth rate, condition of growth, differentiation, de-differentiation, and redifferentiation. Then, sequence of developmental process in a plant cell. Then growth regulators like auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, ethylene, abscisic acid, seed dormancy, vernalization, and photoperiodism. These are the topics included in plant physiology. Unit 5 from Standard 11th include human physiology like digestion and absorption, alimentary canal and digestive glands, role of digestive enzymes and gastrointestinal hormones, peristalsis, digestion, absorption and assimilation of proteins, carbohydrates and fats, caloric value of protein, carbohydrate and fats, egestion, nutritional and digestive disorder like PEM, indigestion, constipation, vomiting, jaundice, diarrhea. Breathing and respiration. It includes respiratory organs in animals, respiratory system in humans, mechanism of breathing and its regulation in human, exchange of gases, transport of gases and regulation of respiration. Then respiratory volumes disorder related to respiration like asthma, emphysema, occupational respiratory disorder. Human physiology also includes circulatory system like composition of blood, blood groups, coagulation of blood, composition of lymph and its function, human circulatory system, structure of human heart and blood vessels, cardiac cycle, cardiac output, ECG, double circulation, regulation of cardiac activity, disorder of circulatory system like hypertension, coronary artery disease, angina pectoris and heart failure. Excretory system include modes of excretion, ammonotelism, ureotelism, uricotelism. Human excretory system, its structure and function, urine formation, osmoregulation, regulation of kidney function, renin and angiotensin, arterial natriuretic factor, ADH and diabetes insipidus. Role of other organ in excretion disorder include uremia, renal failure, renal calculi, nephritis, dialysis and artificial kidney. Next system is locomotion and movement. It includes types of movement, ciliary, flagellary, muscular, skeletal muscles, contractile proteins and muscles contraction, skeletal system and its function. The relevant practical syllabus, joints, disorder of muscular and skeletal system, myasthenia gravis, tetany, muscular dystrophy, arthritis, osteoporosis, gout, etc. Next is nervous system and coordination. It includes neurons and nerves, nervous system in humans, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and visceral nervous system. Generation and conduction of nerve impulse, reflex action, sense organ, elementary structure and function of eye and ear. Next, chemical coordination and regulation. It includes endocrine glands and hormones, human endocrine system, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, pineal gland, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenal, pancreas, gonads, mechanism of hormone action, role of hormones as messenger and regulators, hypo and hyperactivity and related disorder like dwarfism, acromegaly, cretinism, goiter, exophthalmic goiter, diabetes, addiction disease. Now, syllabus from Standard 12th. Unit 1 include reproduction, reproduction in organism, characteristics features of all organism for continuation of species, mode of reproduction, sexual and asexual. Asexual reproduction include modes like binary fission, sporulation, budding, gamule, fragmentation, vegetative propagation in plants. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants include flower structure, development of male and female gametophytes, pollination, its types, agents, and example of outbreeding device, pollen pistil interaction, double fertilization. Post fertilization events include development of endosperm and embryo, development of seed, and formation of fruit. Polyembryony, significance of seed and fruit formation. Next topic is human reproduction. It includes male and female reproductive system, microscopic anatomy of testes and ovary, gametogenesis like spermatogenesis and oogenesis, menstrual cycle, fertilization, embryo development up to blastocyte formation, implantation, pregnancy and placenta formation, parturition and lactation. Next, reproductive health. It includes need for reproductive health and prevention of sexually transmitted disease, control and need and methods, contraceptions and medical termination of pregnancy, amniocentesis, infertility, and assisted reproductive techniques like IVF, ZIFT, GIFT, etc. Unit 2 include genetics and evolution. So hereditary and variation, Mendelian inheritance, deviation from Mendelism, incomplete dominance, codominance, multiple alleles and inheritance of blood group, pleiotropy, elementary idea of polygenic inheritance, chromosome theory of inheritance, chromosomes and genes, sex determination in humans, birds, honeybee, linkage and crossing over, sex linked inheritance, hemophilia, color blindness, Mendelian disorder in human, thalassemia. Chromosomal disorder in human include Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, and Klinefelter's syndrome. Next, molecular basis of inheritance. It includes search for genetic material and DNA as genetic material, structure of DNA and RNA, DNA packaging, DNA replication, central dogma, transcription, genetic code, translation, gene expression, and regulation like Operon, Genome and Human Genome Project, DNA fingerprinting. Evolution include origin of life, biological evolution and evidence for biological evolution from paleontology, comparative anatomy, embryology, and molecular evidence. Darwin's contribution, modern synthetic theory of evolution, mechanism of evolution includes variation, mutation and recombination, and natural selection with example. Types of natural selection, gene flow, and genetic drift. Hardy-Weinberg principle, adaptive radiation, human evolution. Unit 3 include biology and human welfare. It include health and disease, pathogens, parasites causing human disease like malaria, filariasis, ascariasis, typhoid, pneumonia, common cold, amoebiasis, basic concept of immunology, vaccines, cancer, HIV and AIDS, adolescence, drug and alcohol abuse, improvement in food production, plant breeding, tissue culture, single cell protein, biofortification, apiculture, and animal husbandry. Microbes in human welfare include in household food processing, industrial production, sewage treatment, energy generation, and as biocontrol agent and biofertilizer. Unit 4 includes biotechnology and its application. It includes principles and process of biotechnology, genetic engineering, recombinant DNA technology, application of biotechnology in health and agriculture, human insulin and vaccines production, gene therapy, genetically modified organisms like Bt cotton, transgenic animals, biosafety issue, biopiracy and patent. Unit 5 include ecology and environment. It includes topics like organisms and environment, habitat and niche, population and ecological adaptation, population interaction, mutualism, competition, predation, parasitism, population attributes, growth, birth rate and death rate, age distribution, ecosystem and its pattern, components, productivity and decomposition, energy flow, pyramids of numbers. Biomass, energy, nutrient cycle include carbon and phosphorus, ecological succession, ecological service, carbon fixation, pollination, oxygen release. Biodiversity and its conservation includes topics like concept of biodiversity, pattern of biodiversity, importance of biodiversity, loss of biodiversity, biodiversity conservation, hotspot, endangered organisms, extinction, red data book, biosphere reserve, national park and sanctuaries. Environmental issue includes air pollution and its control, water pollution and its control, agrochemicals and their effects, solid waste management, radioactive waste management, greenhouse effect and global warming, ozone depletion, deforestation, any three case studied as success story addressing environmental issue. Thank you for watching.